What's going on, fight fans? It's Lauren with the TMF podcast, and tonight we have a story about something that I kind of agree and disagree with. Something that is needed and is not happening. And that is better gloves in MMA. Better gloves for the fighters. Gloves that mitigate eye pokes. What we have here is a little Twitter beef, a little online social media hit piece between Conor McGregor and Justin Gaethje. Now, I've done another video, I'll have to put it on this channel because I'm an old channel, about eye pokes. Eye pokes in MMA and how devastating they are and how often they happen and how they really need to do something about the eye pokes because, dude, you can get punched in the face, you can get kicked in the head, but them eye pokes are nasty, especially after the last few fights that had just really bad ones that just ended up stopping the fight. And, these guys get long-term damage from this. So, Conor McGregor puts up this little hitman right here and says, I'd smoke you and your coach at the same time in these, right? So he's brought out a little video here of him doing whatever, sparring, I guess. These are the gloves he's talking about. McGregor Fast MMA Fight Gloves. Download the app and join the team today at McGregor Fast. So he's just sponsoring some gloves right here. And in the comments, many wondered if the UFC would want them, pointed out how Trevor Whitman didn't want them tied to one organization. So the reason that there's beef here is because Trevor Whitman, who is Justin Gaethje's coach, has developed his own fight gear the last few years. Gloves and shin guards and pads and stuff for MMA training that protects the fighters. One of them being gloves that keep your hand kind of in this position in a natural state, right? Instead of this position, this position. Makes a big difference when you come to fighting. So, the reason that Trevor Whitman hasn't made these gloves into the UFC is because he does not want them to be tied to just one organization. The UFC would want exclusive rights to these gloves, and Whitman wants all fighters to be able to use them, right? If they're in one, Pride, Bellator, wherever. So Conor McGregor says this in response. But Trevor Whitman has never fought MMA, though. You guys need real experience. Case in point, the king of this shit. Me and F other organizations. I'm with the UFC. So then Justin Gaethje responds, you didn't design this. You just put your name on someone else's designs. Made for it as cheap as possible. With ship foam and ship materials. They are garbage and you know it. Make your cheese, though. And he's not wrong. Because we all know Conor McGregor is not over there creating his own fight gloves. He's not over there in the lab working on these things, right? But Trevor Whitman is. And Trevor Whitman coaches some of the best fighters in MMA. And he's developed his own glove design. He's using a particular foam that's going to be safer for the fighters overall. And he's looking out for the best interests of his friends, his family, and his MMA community. And Conor McGregor here looks to be just putting his name on some design, and he'll probably sell a bunch of them. He probably will. The only good that can really come out of this is maybe a little more awareness to the fact that the gloves and the gear that they're using is subpar. And maybe we'll get some traction. You know what? If they use McGregor Fast gloves in UFC, more power to them. They need to do something. And I would say that McGregor, while he is a UFC fanboy, I don't know how much he's got left in the UFC. How much time he's got left, how many more fights he's going to do. He's going to fight Poirier, and then who knows? If he loses to Poirier, that could be it. It could just be him coming out and doing just special guest appearances at that point. So we'll see. But this is an interesting little turn of events here. I wish we did see more talk and more conversation about Trevor Whitman's product. As far as the design goes, I don't know. Let's see here. Trevor Whitman. Gloves. Let's see if they even look similar while we're at it here. I don't think they really do. Trevor Whitman MMA gloves, maybe. He's got boxing gloves, too. All right, here we go. Let's have a look here. I'm going to pull this up, then we'll just decide here. So these right here are Trevor Whitman's gloves on the right. You can see the Pride gloves. You can see them there. Let's see if there's another picture of them and what they actually look like. Maybe when someone's wearing them, doesn't look like we see a whole lot there. Look at that, you can get them on Wish. We don't even need this. On Wish. It's perfect. I know he's got different boxing gloves that he's using. All right, there's an still image there of Rogan wearing them on the podcast, because he did showcase them on Rogan, and he really liked them. I'm trying to just see if there's another clip here or even a picture. So there's a picture of it, right? And how it keeps his hand pretty much in a fixed position, which is good. And then we look at what Conor's got here, which we don't see a picture of it on. There's a couple, no, not really too many noticeable differences now, are there? And look at that, it's a solid piece there. I thought one of them was broken up, where it was almost like a two-piece knuckle and top hand glove, but this looks to be all the same. Onyx has their gloves, but as you can tell, UFC hasn't changed them. So, what do we have here? Gen X Factor for training. I know the boxing glove they had almost made it to where you didn't have to wrap the wrist based on its design, which is pretty impressive. So, that's what we've got happening right here. A little bit of smoke from Conor McGregor. You know, he's trying to stay relevant. He's just talking trash to anyone that cares. He had another thing out saying something about Nate Diaz on steroids. I mean, look, this kid will say about anything here. Accuses Nate Diaz of steroid use. And just why not, right? Why not? Just make whatever up you want. What's he on? What's Nate Diaz on? Smokes so much weed, I don't think he has time to do steroids. Tainted supplements, excuses, yada, yada, yada. Interesting. And what does it matter? What does it even matter to McGregor? Does he want to fight Nate Diaz? Is he coming after Nate Diaz again? Like, what does it matter at this point? Let's see what we got here. Maybe some more news. But I think that's going to be it for this little one here. I'm hoping that tomorrow we can do a choke test dummy podcast with Jacob and talk about some MMA and some BJJ from an amateur standpoint, and a little bit about what we go through when we go over to the gym and get choked and beat on for an hour. So until then, hit the like button or the subscribe button. Let me know what you think about this topic in general, as far as it goes with UFC and Bellator and all these other ones, and you know how these gloves could make a difference in the lives of many MMA fighters. So leave a comment and I'll get back and address them. And, you know, if you want to join the show, let me know. We can Zoom you right in. Let's have a conversation about it. I'd love to talk to anyone about any of these topics and get your perspective and what you think from a fan's perspective, or if you're a part of the industry, just a fighter or a coach or someone who trains, I'd like to hear your perspective. So let's talk about it. Hit me up, tmfapparelusa@gmail.com. And, you know, I'm going to even open up another email for this. It's the TMF podcast. We'll see what happens. So, till then, I'll catch you in the next video.